course, now Nokia is all about going through a dramatic turnaround and a shift where our focus is very much on disrupting ourselves, disrupting the trends that have been established in the industry, and moving forward with new strategies and new products and new ways of managing our organization in order to keep pace and indeed accelerate the pace beyond others as we go forward. So as we've been going through this transition at Nokia, we've taken a broad array of steps to really change the rate at which we can respond to disruption, the rate at which we can innovate, the rate that we can bring great new experiences to consumers.
When people tell me, well, what's going to happen in the next 5 years, I throw up my hands and say, I have no idea, and neither do you. So if we don't have any idea, then, well, how do we cope with that? Well, first is by, I think, having the right attitude about the process of change and reinvention. And second, forming partnerships, collaborations, alliances with other like-minded companies and entities that have something to contribute beyond what you contribute to hopefully posit and solve the problem in a unique way.
It's one good thing that is going to happen to L&T, that it will come out smarter, much more leaner and nimble, as you mentioned one time before. And I think the organization will be ready to take on far more very well-equipped international competition and be more competitive both in quality, delivery and cost.
We need definitely to keep our cost under control because we believe that banking will be in a tough environment, and we need to preserve our capital position or even increase the capital that we employ in our business.
I think the whole underlying idea of trying to reduce costs in whatever that we do actually become creative and innovative in what we want to achieve. For instance, if a certain budget that we have, how do we expand the market? How do we reach out to markets that we're not able to? And how do we capture the highest yields also? So it's not just about how we would try to maintain the cost and having the highest yield, but also how do we use technology to be able to create that buzz, to expand and reach out to wider audiences than what we normally used to.
Well, one key principle we do have is that we want to be a value chain orchestrator, so that both in our engineering and also in the supply chain, in production, we rely very much on partnering, so that we work with other companies in our network, which is then giving us the agility to scale up and scale down. So we try to make sure that our structures are not too fixed, but there's enough fluidity in our structures so that we can respond to the changes in demand as quickly as possible. So we try to do it through the architecture and through the structure.
And our philosophy is always to partner. So we partner up basically. It becomes particularly important outside because we need the local partners, and I think they can benefit from our experience and knowledge. But also we do that in Mexico. We are partners to some of the most important companies and infrastructure funds in the world.
So building flexibility into thinking processes has been a real journey the last 3 or 4 years. Part of that as well, it was just about organisational flexibility. How do you streamline the organisation, remove layers in the organisation, which has been a lot of what we've been doing in both the UK and the US. So there's just a speed of thought process, a speed of decision making that is different today than it was.
So we just finished a 2-day annual review of leadership in 40 different business functions. And so we are as aggressive as any firm I know of in looking at leadership, building leadership for tomorrow, and making sure we're adapting for a better future, and a firm that is just as responsive to our client needs as we were when we were a 10-person firm.
Well, I guess, you know, when things are tough, I mean, you've got an opportunity to revisit some things like cost efficiency, for instance, is always there in business, but it takes a sort of a new priority when things are tough. Rebuilding the brand, retooling the staff in terms of skill sets, looking in what products and services we have. If we put the effort in now, there's a good chance that as things improve, we'll be in good shape to basically, accelerate away.